Hey, welcome back. We finally made it, the season finale of Season 2. Today we're going to be looking at Anasazi, episode 25 of Season 2. Anasazi debuted on May 19th, 1995, and follows Mulder as he receives an encrypted tape featuring top-secret files on extraterrestrial life. The episode begins on a Navajo reservation in New Mexico. After a morning earthquake wakes everyone up, Eric Hosteen decides he's gonna go do a little riding, but not before his grandfather Albert can give him an ominous warning.
Leave the snakes alone today. You'll be angry and afraid.
I have no idea what that means, but I'm not about to argue with a native man when it comes to ominous warnings, because they're usually right. Despite said warning, Eric goes off riding when he comes across some metallic object in the ground. He quickly informs his family that he found something and they just have to see it.
He said it should be returned. They will be coming.
And I don't know about you, but when I was younger, this scared the hell out of me. We then catch up with the Thinker, and if you're wondering who that is, he's kind of an unofficial member of the Lone Gunmen and was first mentioned in the episode One Breath. Well, he just hacked into the Defense Department and is stealing all their files, which is something they generally frown upon.
Qualcuno entrò nel documento di MJ.
Ma chi ha fatto una cosa del genere? Chi?
This suddenly explodes into an international incident, because if you think it's just the Americans that are involved in keeping aliens on the down low, you'd be dead wrong.
It's alles erledigt.
Good.
Gentlemen, that was the phone call I never wanted to get.
Imagine how dangerous you have to be for even cigarette smoking man to start sweating. Of course, the Thinker's place is busted into by a bunch of hitmen, but he's already hightailed it the hell out of there. This prompts the Lone Gunman to barge in on Mulder, who is really just not in the mood.
I don't think we've been followed.
Who would follow you?
Multinational Black Ops unit, codenamed Garnet.
Trained killers.
The Lone Gunmen have come to Mulder because the Thinker found something that has made him a wanted man. And all he left for the Lone Gunmen was a meeting time and instructions from Mulder to meet him there. But before we can get to any meeting, an old woman in Mulder's building just up and shoots her husband. This odd incident forces Mulder's hand, so he decides to meet with the Thinker.
I don't want you to know my real name. I just don't think it's that important that you know.
Sounds like a line I used in a bar once.
I really don't think he was joking here. Kurt Cobain hands Mulder the files and tells him all he wants out there is the truth, to expose those that try to cover up the existence of aliens. Sure would be a shame if the tape turned out to be one of Mulder's extreme mixtapes again.
Don't you dare.
Mulder, Skinner's looking for you.
Come in and lock the door.
When isn't Skinner looking for Mulder? Scully comes in the office and Mulder shows her the tape. He finally may have some proof, now let's see if Scully ruins it. Well, before she can, the tape looks to be nothing but gibberish. Mulder goes off the deep end a bit, and well, who can blame him? How many times now has he been given fake evidence and just immediately believed it? But fret not, dear Mulder, because Scully recognizes it as being Navajo. Something her father told her was used during World War II because the Japanese couldn't crack the code. And this is true. In 1942, Navajo code talkers were used as a means to communicate military tactics without giving the enemy a chance to decode what they were planning. And even still, by the end of the war, the Navajo code had never been broken. Unfortunately for Mulder though, he now has what he's always wanted in the palm of his hands, there's just no way to decipher it. Scully is worried about him though because he appears to be on edge.
Boy, listen. I'm talking to you.
He's so on edge that he thinks he can fight Skinner, which is a really stupid idea on his part. The next day, Scully is brought into Skinner's office to talk about what really happened with Mulder the day prior, and it must be really bad because they even got Chris Carter involved.
Your partner. Weren't you originally assigned to Agent Mulder to debunk his work?
You should know, you wrote the damn thing. Her superiors inform her that if she's hiding something, she could be subject to termination without a chance for reinstatement. Her job always seems to be on the line because of Mulder, yet she will still defend him to the ends of the earth. We catch up at Martha's Vineyard, where Mulder's father has a visitor. I bet Mulder just wants to play catch with the old man.
Hello, Bill.
Well, this is quite the twist that I definitely did not see coming. So Mulder's father is involved in this whole mess, and the only thing he seems to be worried about is his name being mentioned in those files. I guess he doesn't want his son finding out what a naughty boy he's been.
He didn't answer your door.
How many times now is Mulder going to almost shoot Scully? She decided to stop by and see how Mulder's doing and, I don't know, ask why he decided to sucker punch Skinner? The weird thing is he doesn't know, and I'm sure it has nothing to do with the old woman that shot her husband either. She also tells Mulder that she's meeting with someone in an hour who may be able to help her translate the tape.
There are words I recognize, but you'll need an actual code talker to make any sense of this.
Well, Josephine herself isn't much help, but she does give Scully the contact information of someone who was an actual Navajo code talker. Later, while Mulder awaits a visit from X, he gets a phone call from his father who tells him he needs to see him and it's pretty damn urgent. Scully barges into Mulder's place, but he's already long gone. For hired assassins, these guys are really bad shots. Mulder meets up at his father's place and he tries to tell his son the truth about what he's involved in, but he has a really hard time getting the words out. William Mulder goes to the bathroom to take some medication and muster up the strength to speak to his son, but Douchey McDoucherson makes his long-awaited return. Mulder finds his father bloody on the bathroom floor with a gunshot to the side of his head, although from where Krychek is standing you would think the gunshot would be in the back of the head, unless he turned around real quick before Krychek fired. Mulder calls Scully and tells her what just took place, but because of how on edge he's been lately, Scully begins to question if Mulder didn't do it himself.
Mulder, they're gonna suspect you anyway. You've got no ID on the shooter. Your behavior has been irrational lately.
Scully tells Mulder to leave the crime scene, which might not be the best advice, and he winds up at her place because his isn't exactly safe at the moment. Scully brings Mulder to her bed so he can rest, and brings him a cold cloth as he's running a really high fever. Huh, I usually skip this part of the video. The next morning, and where the hell are his pants? After Scully stripped Mulder, she took his gun and had the bullets analyzed against the ones used on his father.
You took my gun. You think I did it, don't you?
I took your gun to run it through ballistics to try and clear you, Mulder.
She's trying to save his ass, and yet still he argues with her. Mulder is really losing his mind, and now all of a sudden doesn't trust her. Scully goes back to Mulder's apartment to retrieve the bullet lodged in his wall, only to notice a strange man leaving his apartment with a water tank. Of course she has to check it out, and what she finds is a completely brand new tank installed for Mulder's apartment. But why just Mulder's? Mulder catches someone trying to be a little sneaky, but remember, Mulder is the king of sneak. So he runs around back where he finds an armed Krychek, and you would think he might be in trouble because he doesn't have his gun, but Mulder can handle Krychek. Mulder beats the daylights out of Krychek and is really close to putting him on ice for good, but Scully intervenes and actually shoots Mulder to stop him from what he was about to do. I guess she really didn't like that he almost pulled a gun on her earlier. When Mulder wakes up, he's in a motel room in New Mexico with Scully and Albert.
If you killed Krychek with that weapon, there would have been no way to prove that you didn't kill your father.
Scully shows Mulder what she found connected to his water tank, and whoever killed his father has been drugging his water supply, which has been the cause of his paranoia. Anyways, Scully found Albert, who was a Navajo code talker, and he's been translating the tape.
My name is in those files. It appears in the latest entries with Dwayne Barry's.
Not only is Mulder's father mentioned in the tapes, but now also Scully and Dwayne Barry. So it just became even more urgent that Mulder find out what's going on. While Scully goes back to Washington so she can be chewed out by Skinner, Mulder drives Albert back to a Navajo reservation where he claims some secrets are buried nearby.
There was a tribe of Indians who lived here more than 600 years ago. Their name was Anasazi. It means the ancient aliens.
Albert tells Mulder about the Anasazi and of their sudden disappearance, and Mulder, well, he just buys right into it. Even though in the previous episode Mulder was talking about the Anasazi and their known cannibalism, which researchers believe may be the real cause for their disappearance. But if you even mention aliens, Mulder's going to swing his beliefs in that direction.
Through those rocks.
Albert's grandson takes Mulder to the metallic object that was uncovered in the beginning of the episode, and I already know Mulder's thinking that's a damn UFO. Before Mulder gets down there, he gets a call from Cigarette Smoking Man of all people, who tries using Mulder's father's involvement in the project as a means to stop Mulder from searching any further.
I'm in a boxcar, buried inside a quarry. There are bodies everywhere.
Mulder calls Scully to tell her what he found, but she also has something for him. Apparently there have been tests that have been conducted on people referred to as merchandise, and it may involve the smallpox vaccination. But Mulder makes sure she knows the people aren't people, they're alien.
From the look of it, I'd say they were alien.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty damn sure.
Before they can get any further, Cigarette Smoking Man and his cronies arrive and demand to know where Mulder is, but good luck getting this kid to talk, he isn't saying shit. One of CSM's men goes inside the train car, but has no luck in finding Mulder, so CSM gives the order to burn it. Anasazi is a really good episode within the mythology arc. Everything that happened was really because of what one nerd stole from the Defense Department. If that had not happened, Mulder's father may still be around, although Mulder would still be going insane from the drugged water, and Scully's name would still appear inside the tape. So maybe it's for the best that they did get the tape? I mean, things were going to shit regardless, you might as well know what's going on. Anasazi currently sits at 9.1 on IMDb, and it's well deserved. I think I would go with either an 8 or a 9, but regardless, it's a really good episode. Anasazi was actually written by both Chris Carter and David Duchovny. While Chris wrote the script itself, David helped him lay out how the story would unfold and felt it should ask more questions than it answered, thus giving people a real desire to see how things would pick back up in season 3. Chris felt their ideas were basically a culmination of a lot of different plot threads introduced over the season, and Darren Morgan wasn't sure if they were actually going to be able to pull it off. But in the end, everyone was really happy with what they were able to produce, and well, so were the fans. Seeing as how they were filming in Vancouver and not New Mexico, an old rock quarry was painted with 1,600 gallons or 6,100 liters of red paint to try and give it that authentic look. They would also use composite images of New Mexico and its skyline, but they kind of stand out on high definition. They had to get permission from local environmental groups prior to painting, and once they were given the okay, they used cranes to help paint all the rocks. Apparently because of the 16:9 aspect ratio, there are claims you can see unpainted rocks because the show was shot for 4:3. It's possible they're referring to this shot here, but I'm not 100%. For the buried train car, they removed close to 32 dump trucks worth of material, which they claimed was blown out, but I don't know what blown out means exactly. Did they use an explosive or a giant fan? Prior to shooting the episode, Peter Donat had been involved in a pretty bad car accident. He wasn't too injured, but did have a lot of bruising on his face, which the makeup department did a really good job in hiding. Dakota House played Eric Hosteen. He's a Canadian-born actor with not a lot of credits to his name. He does appear in 81 episodes of the show North of 60, but outside of that, it's mostly just bit parts. His run-ins with the law may be partly why he hasn't done much, but people in the business have done far worse and continue to do far worse, so I don't see that being a reason. He'll show up once more in the season 3 opener, but after that, we don't see him again. Renee Morisseau played the brief role of Josephine Doan. The reason I bring her up is because she also played Gwen Goodensnake in the episode Shapes. She's a Canadian-born actress and, like Dakota, was on the Canadian series North of 60. Beyond her acting career, she's also a writer, producer, and director of various television documentaries and works with First Nation communities to help strengthen the importance of their heritage. Floyd Red Crow Westerman plays the role of Albert Hosteen. He's an American-born actor, musician, and political activist. He started off as a country singer and then slowly transitioned into acting. He was sent to the Wahpeton boarding school where he was told he couldn't speak his native language and was forced to cut his traditionally long hair. This affected him deeply, and when he became an adult, he reclaimed his heritage, becoming an advocate for Indigenous cultural preservation. He'll make a few more appearances throughout the series, and I honestly wish he was around even more. I like Albert's character, and he adds something unique that you don't get from anyone else. Unfortunately, Floyd is no longer with us, having passed away December 13th, 2007 at the age of 71. Anasazi is a really good episode that continues the mythology arc, and I definitely recommend it. When we come back, we start off season 3 as Scully desperately searches for Mulder in the episode The Blessing Way. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It'll be exciting to start into season 3 because I think for a lot of people, season 3 is their favorite. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on Anasazi. Anyways, thanks for watching. It means the world to me. I hope you're having a great day, and as always, stay spooky.
Did the government hide proof of an alien encounter 15 years ago? Scully and Mulder uncovered the terrifying truth.
I'm gonna expose you and your project.
Don't miss the surprise ending that will determine an agent's fate.
Oh my God, Scully. What have they done?
The X-Files, next on FX.